Right, so when we met at the PI Apparel event, we were talking about all different kinds of technology solutions in apparel, in retail, in brands. And you were like properly curious about that. And like, that was something I immediately thought about you. You were like, oh, okay, that's interesting. How does that work? Tell me about this. You're a naturally curious person, aren't you?
Correct. That's, I think, a trait of myself. I'm very curious, like learning. And that's why I think I move across different countries and work in different sectors. I have always this curiosity to learn about how things are done.
Is it how things work? How things fit together?
It's how things work, but also getting to understand if there's a gray space about something that can be created, something that does not exist and can transform either my life or in general society. If there's a space of creativity and something that it can be created.
But you're a technologist, and that sounds like you're a creative technologist. What? And that's the thing people don't realize is a thing, because you've been VP of product creation, very much a technology-based role. Correct. But you're creating things and looking for solutions to problems all the time, aren't you?
That's true, and I believe, well, technology is actually an enabler for many industries, but thinking about how can you create something new, it can be digital products, physical products, but the interesting underlies on what objective do you have in the company and how you want to apply technology. I'm of course a computer science engineer, and of course technology is close to my heart. But I also have a strong focus on business and economics and understanding then how technology can be investing to really drive forward a company.
So you're like, if it was a Venn diagram, you've got technology,
of course,
business,
yes,
economics,
yes,
probably the wrong shape, but you've got creativity in there as well, so haven't you? Maybe the creativity comes in the middle of that Venn diagram.
Correct.
Like, so. I mean, obviously I work with lots of fashion brands, you've worked in fashion brands. I've always found that they're often quite resistant to very quick advances in technology. But you're in that beautiful space of like understanding the business side, the economic side, the technological side. How have you found navigating particularly fashion brands when it comes to being creative with the technology, not just because they're obviously very creative with design. How do you find the appetite for being creative with the technology of design?
Well, it depends, I think, brand and talking about several companies and their business model. I think the first question is, of course, understanding the competitive advantage of the brand, understanding its identity and its essence. The way that you want to apply technology is a way that it enables but does not disrupt the company and the brand identity.
Yeah.
So important when you're going on a transformation and investing in brands, it's to keep an eye on, first of all, stakeholders. What are their concerns about that technology investment and where you're driving the company? So keeping an eye on stakeholders' concerns makes that change management could be easily addressed. And the other aspect about it, it's what is the competitive advantage? Does the brand see technology as part of their DNA going forward? I think that's a key question to ask.
So that's an interesting point, right? So we've had bricks and mortar businesses traditionally. Then now all of a sudden we had like online only businesses and then social first businesses. We're now kind of in the age of AI. You're a technologist, you're a computer science grad. Is there going to be a way that there'll be like a fashion brand or a brand that's like born on AI, like you've got born on social, born online? Do you think that's going to be a thing in the next few years that will happen?
I love your question because I think one of the conversations that I have with different companies is now the question is your company will be AI first organization or not? Based on that answer, you can define how AI will be applied in your business, if it will be actually enabling or it will be really AI driven, and in which processes are you enabling AI. In fashion particularly, and I think in the creative industries, you see Gen AI. Of course, a lot of designs and the faster iterations with Gen AI is a huge investment. And second, I see predictive analytics in terms of data-driven decision-making, automating processes is all over the place. But I see that in the future, I don't think that AI will be an option or a tool. I think it's a strategic and competitive advantage if you know how to invest in it.
It's quite interesting you say that. So in a previous part of my career, I worked for a company called Software One, and I ran the AI division for Software One. And I worked very closely with IBM, and I was super lucky to very briefly meet Ginny Rometty, who was the CEO at the time. And she talked about how, first of all, AI was going to be so transformative that it would just be embedded in everything. She compared it more to electricity than to a technology. So almost as though it just becomes like the nature of things. And I think, like, when I look at my life now, just on a day-to-day basis, if I'm shopping for something, there's recommendations. If I'm on Netflix looking for, like, what's the next TV show that I'm going to watch, I've got recommendations based on what I've seen before. Like, all this stuff's AI. It's all AI based. So it's just being layered into things. But then I look at my day job, and lots of brands, lots of retailers, they're not necessarily using it in that sort of decision making at a design level. Now, that's something you've had experience in. Have you seen more, like, creative people looking more for data and really understanding the messages and the signals that are coming through to make design-based and creative-based decisions?
Well, let me do maybe a step back. And you were saying actually a very interesting reflection. It's about how AI will transform the business models. But you said, right? So it's like now thinking about having a company without internet. So I believe that AI, it's a technological evolution, and it's a technology that, of course, will change completely the game on how we do business. You don't think about building a company without detailing or enable it on internet, right? You need to announce it, you need to be LinkedIn to be actually live. So I believe AI going forward will be kind of like the internet nowadays. Companies will be need to transform and understand how to enable AI in their business processes. And it will be not just a tool or competitive advantage by its own. I believe if early enough on the wave, companies understand how to invest in AI, it can augment its competitive advantage. When thinking about brands, you were talking earlier, Gen AI is actually generating different type of designs, maybe faster iterations, but there's a design DNA that will not go away by artificial intelligence by its own.
Yeah, it's that blend, isn't it? It's like bringing together, like, brand DNA, creative influences, but then speeding things up, I suppose. That's the thing that I've certainly seen in my life. Like, anything that I've used that's AI, it's made things faster. Like, there's a faster speed of adoption in general to technology these days anyway. So I think
and the large amount of data that you can process, right?
Yeah.
In consumer engagement, you see a more hyper-personalized, let's say, a consumer interaction and personalizing products. The way that you can do better customer satisfaction by having conversational AI bots. I think it will not be here just for a phase. I think that it will be a revolution, let's say, completely on how companies would actually understand AI and how AI would enable their businesses.
That's interesting. I think, come on, we'll wander down this way. So, if we were to think 5 years' time, maybe 10 years' time, where does AI take us from whether it's fashion brands, whether it's business in general? I mean, as a technologist, where does AI put us in 5 years' time based on, like, the advancements we've had in the last 24 months from ChatGPT and generative AI and large language models? Where do you see that state being in 5 years' time?
Well, I think there are three key trends, right, that would shape it. One is, of course, AI, and in all dimensions, Gen AI, predictive analytics, and being able to have good data management within the company for it. The second is sustainability, and the third is about digital ecosystems, how well we're connecting our process together. I believe during the next 5 years and 10 years, it's crucial that the company decide, as I was telling you earlier, what part of the strategical decision about AI, is it going to be an AI first company organization and it will be thinking first about AI and then how this can enable our business processes? or it will be more of an AI and thinking about it can leverage part of the processes, but not completely. I think that will be key decisions to make.
What about like legacy companies, like the big companies, the household names? Obviously, they're so far through a journey. AI kind of comes in like a lot of other technologies do, and often it's those older, well-known brands that take a little bit of time to find their way with it. They've got a lot of legacy systems that they've got to deal with first.
So probably comparing, if you're building your company right now, I would say it's a very smart decision to go an AI first organization.
Yeah.
But probably for those that are well established, I think it's interesting to see to the competitive advantage and see how AI can augment that competitive advantage. I think it's important to enable that and make sure that those processes about your capabilities that is really setting your trend in the market and stay ahead in the market. It's good to innovate and check how AI would actually augment those business capabilities.
So the brands that don't do it, the brands that don't advance, they don't use AI, they carry on doing things traditionally, what's going to happen to those brands?
Well, it's like thinking about those businesses that right now are not in the internet. If you want to be ahead of the market, if you want to stay relevant, I think it's important to look into how this technology will actually change your business processes. And it's really a strategic decision.
Yeah. What got you into technology? What made you take the degree in computer science? And that's not the only degree, you've got a few degrees, right?
Yes, so as I told you, I started in technology and then I moved into business and economics. And part of that, it was my curiosity to understand how tech works. I've always been trying to understand how technology can really move forward, not just a society, but it's really about how it works and how its evolution over time. But early on, then I started to look into business and started to understand that I wanted to pursue, in a larger scale, understanding different business models and different industries.
You've been in leadership positions from a pretty young age. How old were you when you had your first sort of quite senior management position?
I think 24.
24, that's really
I
young.
started 24, like in management position, probably as a manager.
Did you have a lot of like older people working for you at that time?
Yes, in tech you don't see a lot of women, and yes, I also had a very diverse team in terms of age.
How did you feel about that?
Well,
At the time, was it frightening?
Well, it brought me to a different perspective of understanding different communication styles and how to communicate to different generations. I think it's very, very crucial. Understanding, of course, leading people from different ages, talking to different audiences to understand how to talk to them.
Do you think the fact that you've worked on various continents in lots of different countries, like, has that influenced the way that you lead people? Or have you sort of just found your own way as you've gone on?
Completely. I think, first of all, it kept me an open mindset.
Yeah.
Understanding different cultural barriers, seeing a problem from different angles, understanding different perspectives and different history of the people that I have the opportunity to work with. So this has completely changed my mindset from a global perspective, and then understanding different markets.
What would you say your leadership style is?
Well, I will describe the leadership signature, of course, looking into diversity and inclusion. I think that's key and essential. But maintaining a global perspective and being strategic, that's part of my leadership signature. And the third one will be about keeping an open collaboration, open communication. Transparency is key.
Collaboration is really important, isn't it? I think when I look at the people that I've worked for or leadership positions I've held, those moments when you sit with a colleague or somebody that you're leading, someone that's leading you, and you sit and you kind of analyse and work on a problem. And then I look at the counterpoint of that, where I've worked with people that are micromanagers, where it's like, have you done this task? Have you done that task? Have you done this task? And it's like, I've never seen benefit to that, other than somebody else checking boxes and reporting back to whoever they're answerable to.
Correct.
Collaboration, I always feel like things get done in those meetings. Like, talk to me more about how you collaborate with your teams, especially where you've got teams that are spread out all over the globe, lots of different backgrounds. Like how do you pull that together to collaborate with people?
There's an element, and there's kind of a framework to it, where you say you connect, learn, and adapt. So first of all, sometimes when you're working in different countries, it's about bringing a connection. It's really important that there's a purpose behind the team and that people feel that they can communicate closely. And then the element about being able to learn about, I think safe space, bringing a safe space that people can talk about, share their thoughts, their learning journey across the different teams, it's essential. People can speak their mind, see their learning. And then the part of it, adapting, it's how you hear others' observations and then bring it into your real life, into your work. So that type of framework has helped me across different teams. And then you were asking about leadership, and I like pretty much when people talk about leadership, they talk about oneself. But I see a more interesting conversation where you're talking about how do you bring a leadership team into the next level.
Okay.
And that for me is very interesting, and there's where collaboration really fosters, and it's through colors you can see, right?
Yeah.
How effective is the leadership team? I have seen different companies go through different high notes and low notes, right? And it's very interesting to understand how the leadership, if it's really functioning or is it dysfunctional. And I think that that's a very interesting question about leadership.
What's the most functional leadership team you've seen?
Well, those that are really open, they have a common direction. There's co-ownership about the objective of the company. There's communication about driving that purpose of the company. There's a dynamics to put that into a shared roadmap and shared communication. But most precisely, it's the dynamics, the direction, the driveness of the leadership team. And you see it in the behaviors, the way that they're acting together. If you don't see communication across the leadership team, if you don't see a common objective, everyone is having their own budgets and their own agendas, then that's not a functioning leadership team.
Interesting. What was the most difficult, challenging part of your career, and how did you get through it?
Well, I think as a career journey, it's not always a straight line. As I told you, I like a lot about learning, but that also took me to move out of my comfort zone. And mostly when you go out of your comfort zone, you seek for opportunities, but also to challenges. And I believe through those challenges is where really growth can see. But I went through different challenges. From a personal perspective, your family, when you're moving abroad into different countries, adapting yourself, moving out of your comfort zone to understand new industries. And
You've moved out of your comfort zone a lot though, haven't you?
True, and that means that there's growth opportunities, but it's not always this hype. It takes persistence. It takes clarity on your purpose of why you're doing that. Because sometimes in the middle you can just be not motivated to do that type of moving out of your comfort zone. I think the purpose of why you're doing that and what is the objective, particularly for yourself, but also for your family, it's very, very important. And a professional experience as well. Why? What is your purpose? What do you want to achieve? Why are you moving to different sectors? I think it's very introspective reflection that you need to understand your purpose as a human being and in your professional life to get out of your comfort zone. Because if there is no purpose, then just moving out of your comfort zone might be a little bit difficult if there's not a long-term motivation.
What's the hardest technical problem you've ever solved?
I think I would not say that it's a technical problem. I think transformation by itself, it's difficult to navigate as change is it, right? So even change navigated for oneself, it's difficult. Change for an organization is difficult as well. It involves about having a clear vision, communicating that to the people, and the people feel part of that change. And ultimately that people understand what are the benefits on the long journey of investment. It's not a technical aspect at all, but it takes time, it takes communication, it takes listening to the people, their concerns, I will say that's it's not the biggest challenge, but I think it's where growth and opportunity has come from my career, understanding different organizations and how they were transforming the complete business model. Some of them were more traditional, moving to a digital space, opening a marketplace, opening an e-commerce. Some were just changing their business processes to digitalize them. So it depends on each company that I have different experience, but ultimately it's about change management and bringing people along.
Yeah, so your most recent role, you've been working mostly with like design teams, haven't you, and putting the technology in place for design teams. I'm interested to get your perspective on design teams using data.
During the product development cycle, you're creating prototypes. So I think it's important to collect data points all along the journey, all along the process, not until the end gateway, right? When the consumer is telling the quality is not or X, Y, and Z, right? I think it's important to see the process and where are the really data points that you're getting information from the product, all the way from the design, all the way linking that to the quality control, all the way to your suppliers, or even if you're manufacturing that into the manufacturing facility, and then linking that to the consumer. In order to gather all those points, then you can make a really, not just collecting the data, because data is data, but making really insights about where in the process we're dropping the ball. And there you can rethink about your product development cycle process.
You're the consummate professional, but away from work, what makes you tick? What do you do outside of work?
I love traveling.
Yeah.
I like exploring different cultures, understanding different points of view. I love archaeology. I love being in places, understanding different, Asian civilizations as well. And that helps me to go a little bit to the past and then look to the future. So traveling is, for me, one of the things that I love. The second, it's about probably I've been a lot of doing of networking, especially with women in tech. Precisely, I would love to continue my mentorship with women in tech. I think it's very, very important to, first of all, mirror back, open that conversation.
To give role models.
Yes, and importantly, given this part of space where you can share, encourage women which are early in their career. If I was speaking to myself as well at that young age, how can you recommend maybe what education you could pursue?
What advice would you give to a young person thinking about a career in tech?
Definitely about being bold. Sometimes women are less confident when they're starting their career, and sometimes they are waiting to have a seat at the table. I would say bring your own chair and put it on the table, right? So
that's good advice.
I think it's very important sometimes there will not be opportunity, but you need to create them. So being bold, speaking your mind, it's essential. Investing in yourself, education, it's key. I think to pursue leadership roles, you need to invest in education pretty much and understand what is your career journey, yes, and how you want to educate yourself. And the third, which is the most meaningful for me, it's about persistence and discipline. I think that's a value that it's core to myself, and keeping your focus, keeping persistence, is really what you would ultimately get you to your success.
Who were your inspirations?
Well, it's not it's part of my family. I think it's in my grandmother. She was heavily involved back in Mexico in terms of helping young kids to go for education. So she did, it's not kind of NGO, but what she did was talking a lot on to different politics to get funding to open new schools in Mexico. So the hard work that she did and how she advocated for other people and young people to get education, for me, was really inspiring. Seeing her talk to people that were in the government and then in big audiences to get this funding needed for investing in education. So I think that was really inspiring for myself. And secondly, I think my dad, he's a doctor, and how he find a really purpose in his professional career about helping others, but it's really about having a journey that is meaningful for yourself and for the others. So that was really inspiring for me.
Does your grandma know?
Well,
how inspiring she was to you?
She's not. She passed away a long time ago.
Did you get to tell her?
Well, when I was young, she was inspiring for me. So she passed away when I was 12 years old.
Okay. So what would you tell her now if you could?
What would I tell my grandma? That she has been an inspiration, that I hope that I can have a career journey as successful, not only for me, but that it can transform other people's lives.
Yeah, I think she'd be proud.
Thank you.
So if someone out there doesn't have that, where would you suggest they look? If you'd not had that advantage as a young person, what advice would you give to yourself as to a place to look for those kinds of inspirations?
Well, I think that I would like to answer this question in two ways. First of all, I think that it will be very interesting to look into oneself and how you would like to vision yourself. How do you project yourself in the world? I think it's very important. Sometimes a lot of the people that I ask to, have not made that introspection about to understanding what do they want to do in their career. Sometimes they are just moving by the momentum and being really reactive or conditional to the situations that they are exposed to. So in that aspect, I always recommend to take your own path and make your own decisions, but always with asking yourself, where do you want to see yourself, right? Don't be reactive and conditional, because then there's not a purpose.
Do you think everyone's got vision? Do you think people can imagine something and look far out into the future? I think everyone's got that capacity.
Well, if you start questioning, it starts with a self-reflection about yourself and asking your questions, right? Where you are and what makes you happy, what you love. And I think that sometimes, because we're in the momentum of life, a lot of people are not self-reflecting. Sometimes they are in the mid-50s or in the mid part of their career and they say, okay, I'm here, but I'm not totally happy with what I'm doing. Yes, I'm definitely very, very happy. Yes.
You've had a really illustrious career, haven't you?
Well, I enjoyed about exploring, and I think that my curiosity, having a global perspective, having the opportunity to live in different countries was key when I started my career journey. And I think that I had the opportunity to meet amazing people around the world. And of course, there's titles, there's numbers, there's different business and celebrations across the team. But at the end, it's that you are capable of understanding what you're here to do in your life.
What excites you most about technology and data in a business context?
Tech and data, what excites me the most? I think I love from technology the pace that it changes and it evolves. Mm-hmm. It's technology by itself, you can never get enough in terms of emerging technologies, how the pace that is transforming things. And then what I like from technology and data, then it's how you can enable different business industries, that from industries which are not tech first, of course. But in the tech industry, I love the way that they're creating different business models. I see new ideas emerging with digital products, things that never existed, and they are changing, transforming people's lives. You see it from social media to new AI companies that are jumping all over the place. So that's what I love from tech and data. You can apply it to different industries, and it completely transformed the business model, but you can also, for those that are tech first and tech native business models, it's amazing the ideas and how things get created.
You've achieved so much, but what's next?
Well, that's very, very interesting. You know that I'm a curious person, so I will be looking into a new industry. There's a business opportunity coming up where I'll be investing into launching a new product.
Oh, that's interesting.
It's on healthy food. But I still will keep my executive and my professional life also close to technology. Yeah. And as soon as we launch, then I'll invite you, Adam, so you can have a look into our product.
Oh, that'd be really good. No, definitely do that. That'll be super interesting. Ultimately, where do you want to end up?
Where do I want to end up? Well, personally, I would like to have a little bit more of still of exploration in terms of investing and coming as a probably entrepreneur, and that part of exploring my next step of my career. I have worked for many companies in different industries, precisely mostly on a tech as an expertise. Yeah. But I think coming up, I would like to open up my portfolio and look into doing my own thing as well.
So yeah, it sounds like there's a lot of exciting things to come. I can see you running like a big organization yourself one day, like from where you've got to already, and like, yeah, the curious mind, like the knowledge that you've got, the experience that you've got, everything that you've seen. Yeah, I think you want to watch, definitely. But thank you very much for meeting me today.
Likewise.
And coming for a walk and a chat around Barcelona. It's
Thank you,
been
Adam.
lovely.
Thank you.